Good morning. Thank you for joining us. My name is Meredith Harris with the Marlborough Economic Development Corporation, and it is my pleasure to welcome you this morning to this edition of Inside the Industry. Today we're going to talk to some folks from Cytiva, one of Marlborough's newest life science companies and a leader in the industry. We're going to go around the room, have everybody introduce themselves, and we're going to start with Umay.
Hi everyone, Umay Saplakoglu. I'm the Chief Digital Officer in Cytiva. I've been 19 years with the company, mostly in the technology-related jobs, and since last 2 years I'm running the digital team.
Wonderful, thank you. We're going to jump over to Annu.
Namaste and hello, my name is Annu Jain and I am the Fast Track Leader for United States, Canada and Latin America region. And I've been with Cytiva for 2.5 years. Fast Track is a group that works directly with the biopharma industry to develop and advance their biotherapeutics.
Next we have Nikki.
Hi, my name's Nikki Soares. I'm the Global Talent Acquisition Leader for Cytiva. I've been with the company for a little over a year, and I lead a team of recruiters and coordinators around the globe that support all of our people leaders in their hiring needs.
And last we have Brian.
I'm Brian Douglas. I'm the GM in the cell culture business at Cytiva. I've been at the organization a little over 6 years. I'm accountable for the global business operations and the strategy setting for the business.
Great, thanks and welcome everybody. We really are excited to have you all here and excited to have you communicating with our larger community, the region at large. So I just wanted to give kind of a quick overview or recap of why we decided to launch Inside the Industry at MEDC. We talk to businesses on a daily basis, and that's companies that are looking to come into Marlborough or companies that are already here, trying to find out why they're here, what keeps them here. That's part of our attraction and retention program. And the biggest thing that we hear from companies that why they want to stay in Marlborough, why they chose Marlborough from the get-go, is the pipeline, the access to the talent, the folks that are here, and keeping their employees happy is what really drives them when they're making real estate decisions. So we really want to help play a role in that and making sure that the companies are here have access to that talent, have access to the pipeline, and that we're helping build that pipeline. And so a lot of times the community will say to us, we drive by these big companies that are here and there's a lot of big names and it's a little intimidating. You drive by a building like Cytiva or Quest Diagnostics or GE Healthcare and you're not sure what's going on inside those four walls and not sure if you could see yourself inside those four walls. And we wanted to invite folks from our community to explain to you that you can be inside those walls. And a lot of these companies are hiring. They're looking to engage with the student population. They're looking to engage with the general community, the population that is living within our region. We have a lot of wonderful, talented folks that could be inside of these companies. And so that's really why we chose to launch this series, to kind of bridge that gap and build the communication between our companies that we're bringing into the community and the community that's here. So with that, I'm going to start with our first question, which is going to Umay. Can you tell us about Cytiva? What does Cytiva do? What do you want people to know about your company?
Sure. First of all, thanks again for having us here. Cytiva is a global provider of technologies and services that aims to advance and accelerate development of therapeutics. So we have a wide range of customers. Our customers could do things from fundamentals of biological research to creating life-saving vaccines, biological drugs, and novel cell and gene therapies. And we provide tools for that. And you can think of this as the pots, the pans, the soups, and the sauces that goes into the mix. Also, our products sometimes are sold outside of biopharma industry as well, and filters is a really good example of that. And as the Chief Digital Officer for the company, one of my goals is also to ensure that we keep on developing these type of products so that our customers can bring their products faster to the market, safer to the market, and better to the market, mainly trying to reduce waste through digital solutions for them.
That's great. And so a lot of folks, that might be watching, they've never heard of Cytiva. And that's because Cytiva is newer to the industry, and you guys used to be known as GE Life Sciences, if that's correct. So Brian, could you tell us a little bit about what the transition was like and why you guys decided to transition over into Cytiva?
Yeah, good question. It's been a pretty busy year, right?
Yeah.
So in the past 1 year since we've become Cytiva, we stood up a new business, we created a brand from scratch, all while trying to do our best to separate and do all the appropriate legal and business operations separating from GE, all while running these large multinational businesses, getting products out the door to our customers, all while trying to integrate into Danaher, which has been great during a global pandemic.
I was just going to say, there was a small thing going on at
Yeah,
the same
yeah.
time,
I mean, I
right?
remember sitting in the office here a year ago when we
Right.
were talking about this. So each one of those things by themselves would be a significant activity for the business, for any business. Doing all them together is a really impressive effort on behalf of our business, our teams, and the talented associates that are part of it. Transitioning to Danaher has been great. They've been incredibly supportive in all those things that I just mentioned, as well as just providing financial support as well, right? So we intend to invest over $500 million over the next 5 years back into these businesses that are part of Cytiva, which is, from my perspective, pretty impressive, right? All in the context of trying to continue to drive the support for our customers and for the patients.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot that's going on. The pandemic, on top of all the changes that you guys are going through, that's a lot for any company to be going through at one time.
We've been pretty busy.
I would think so, absolutely. So the next question, we're going to go to Annu. You lead the Fast Track Lab. Can you tell us a little bit about what is the Fast Track Lab? How does that differ from the jobs that are at Cytiva?
Yeah. So Fast Track is a unique entity within Cytiva. It's a lab-based department. We have state-of-art process development labs right here in Marlborough, where teams of scientists, we work directly with the biopharma industry to help design and advance their biotherapeutics, bring their molecules to market faster. And as Umay mentioned, we have expertise and experience working with all different kind of molecules, whether it's recombinant proteins or vaccines or viral vectors. So we have been in this field for 30 years. We have more than a decade of experience helping the biopharma industry bring these molecules, bring these biologics to markets. We also help train the staff for biopharma industry if they need training on how to develop these processes. I want to say that this is a very passionate work for us because we know that we are touching these molecules that are going to one day touch a patient and change somebody's life. So it's really very fulfilling work, and I love being a part of Fast Track. The way it's different from a manufacturing process is, by the time a molecule goes to manufacturing, the processes are very well defined. It's set SOPs that you have to follow. For Fast Track is a step before that, where we can help design your processes and lock that process so that it can be manufactured and can be then approved by FDA and goes to the market, to the patient.
So certainly when you're talking about you're touching molecules that are going to affect a patient, I can understand why people are driving by and feeling a little intimidated by what's going on, right? I mean, the things you guys are doing, it's incredible. These are life-changing things that you're working on every day right here in Marlborough. It's wonderful.
Absolutely.
And just a follow-up question, how many folks are in the Fast Track Lab? Is that a big lab? Is it a small staff? What does that look like?
So we are a global organization, but in the Marlborough lab, we have 9 scientists right now working on lots of different diverse projects. Last year, as you said, it was also very interesting to realize the scientists are also essential workers. Our labs never closed, and they were in the lab every day working on life-saving therapeutics, even COVID vaccines. So it was really very good for them to realize the value of their work.
Absolutely, and the impact that it has on.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So speaking of the Marlborough location, Nikki, we're going to jump over to you to talk about what types of jobs are currently available. I know you guys are hiring. You've been hiring over the past year, and anybody that's watching, there are jobs available. If you're in the region, people they're looking for people to come and work at the company. And we have a lot of great individuals within our community and our region that are skilled. And tell them a little bit about the jobs that are available and what type of skill sets are necessary for the jobs that you're hiring for right now.
Sure. So we have over 800 positions open globally right now. And if you think about just the Massachusetts area, we have opportunities for those of you who are looking to get to work right out of high school or went right to work right out of high school. We have opportunities in our manufacturing facilities in Westboro, in Marlborough, and in Shrewsbury. We also have opportunities in customer service, and that team is growing as well in the Marlborough site. For those of you who are looking to go on to higher education or have advanced degrees, we have opportunities across a variety of functions. So you heard Annu talk about the opportunities for scientists. You can take your science degree and work as a research scientist, or you can take your science degree and work in a sales position and help other scientists and other companies to advance the work that they're doing and show them how our products can help advance their research. If you are interested in business, we have opportunities in finance, in marketing, in HR. We have legal teams that are here in the U.S. So pretty much anything that you can think of that would be in a general business setting, we have those kinds of opportunities in addition to the science-based and manufacturing opportunities here.
So it would be safe to say you have both entry-level positions, you have mid-level positions. You guys are looking for, folks across the board. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We have opportunities for a variety of experience levels.
And so people shouldn't be intimidated.
They should not.
Should not be intimidated. That's right. Right. You guys are looking for folks to come in and you can possibly train them too. Is that correct? On things that you're looking for.
Yes, absolutely. So there are a lot of opportunities for on-the-job training. We have formal training programs as well. We have advantage of being able to tap into Danaher's leadership development programs that are focused on various functions like research or finance or operations, and gives participants the opportunity to get exposure to different parts of Danaher's business as they grow within their function, and then find a home, a permanent home as they come out of the program. So yes, there's lots of opportunities for growth and development.
And so before we move on to the next question, Nikki, I want to talk a little bit about personal growth stories within the company. People that may have started as an entry level and they've gone through the ranks and they've moved up in Cytiva. We've shared this with a lot of our student population, some of the local colleges in the area. So maybe some of our future leaders that are watching today, what's a growth story that might inspire them to maybe apply?
Yes, I can give the example of one of our leaders in the Westboro manufacturing site, where she came in through GE's operations leadership development program. And over the last 10 years that she's been with GE and Cytiva, she's had 6 different positions with the company, and had started out in manufacturing engineering. She also did a role in supply chain. She was in product management. She has gone on to manufacturing leadership. So, in a fairly short period of time, she was able to make a lot of moves and get exposure to different parts of the business and really build her career. And I think, we'll have lots of opportunities to grow from where she is today.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So I'm going to throw a question out to the group, to everybody. I think we'll start with Brian, but we're talking about inside the industry, right? So the life science industry, biomanufacturing, these are all buzzwords that we hear in Boston quite often, or the greater Metro West area. Can you tell us a little bit about what you would say to somebody that's just starting to explore the industry, or what type of advice would you give somebody that has heard about these things and they know that life sciences in Boston is a big deal and there's a lot of opportunity, but they just don't really know that much about what to do or how to get started? Sure.
It's a great industry, right? I've been in it my entire career. I think my advice would be, first, if you already have a life sciences or an engineering degree, something of a technical nature, that is essentially your key to unlock a lot of opportunities. Nikki was talking about this. Unlock a lot of opportunities, not just within Cytiva, but within our industry, right? I'll use myself as an example. I have a degree in microbiology. I run a business now, but I took a number of different steps along the way. I started out in tech support, answering phones, and then went in the field applications, solving problems for customers out in the field. And then someone took a chance on me as a junior product manager. And then over the course of the next, 12, 14 years, I've sort of learned and had some great mentorship around how to find the role and find my passion within the industry. I would offer that to, and Nikki's example was a great one too. I'd offer that to anybody that has a life sciences or technical degree. you don't have to go into the lab if you have a biochemistry degree, or you don't have to be an engineer if you have a chemical engineering degree. Those degrees serve as the foundation for all types of opportunities, whether you want to pursue a track in business or in sales. Certainly if you want to be in manufacturing leadership, supply chain leadership. I mean, really the opportunities are endless, and it all kind of starts with the growth of the industry. Human health is, and the improvement of the health of people's lives is something that most of us see continuing for, at least the next few decades.
And we can all get behind that, right?
Yeah, I think we all can. So there really are a lot of opportunities. I would say it's a matter of keeping your mind open and really thinking about what you want to pursue professionally, and trying to navigate those steps to get there.
And I know that, so we talked at another meeting last week, we were talking about kind of the market, right? And so the life science industry, I mean, can you speak a little bit about the industry, not just in Marlborough, but kind of how at Boston, how we all work together and how that plays together?
Sure, yeah, it's a great question. So I think you heard me when we were speaking a couple weeks ago, I was talking about how Silicon Valley historically has gotten a lot of the press, a lot of publication for that's where the investment money is going, that's where all these great new inventions are coming along. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the latest and greatest food delivery app is nice. However, I think what is great about our industry is we're making life-changing enhancements, right, to how therapeutics are manufactured, how quickly they're developed, right? Look at Moderna and Pfizer BioNTech as an example of how quickly a vaccine can get brought to market. A lot of that starts here in Massachusetts, right? We've got an incredible foundation of universities. We've got a great foundation of technical and vocational schools, and a lot of your life science and drug developing biotechnology companies. They're all headquartered or have at least branches or labs in Boston, in Cambridge, in Marlborough, in Westborough, all across the greater Boston metro area. If you are interested in the life sciences, there is no better place to be, frankly, in the world than in the eastern half of Massachusetts.
Especially now. Especially now.
Especially now. What I think COVID has perhaps done is shine a spotlight on just how important the life sciences industry is, and perhaps would kick off a renaissance of people, pursuing engineering degrees, pursuing life sciences degrees in numbers that they haven't in the past.
Right, which is great.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah. So Umay, we'll jump over to you. Same question. Do you have any advice for somebody that's just starting to explore the industry that you guys are in?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, as Brian said, we're going through a phenomenal growth in the industry, and I think it's just starting, and it will really accelerate as we move to the next years. One thing that I would say to no matter which industry you're going to, or no matter what you are studying, learning to learn, I think, is the key, right? And then you also need to be adaptive to change, because in the past years, you can think of maybe the time I was graduating. You would expect to graduate from something, and then you would continue on the same thing for all your life until you just retire from it. I think that world is gone, and the jobs are changing constantly. The environment is changing constantly, and a lot of this is actually driven by digital transformations around us. So I think being adaptive to change and learning to learn and be open to learn and be lifelong learner is really the key here.
I love that, learning to learn. Yeah. That's wonderful. We'll jump over to Annu. Would you like to take that question?
Yeah, I would say if you're just starting out, take some time and figure out what is your purpose. If you can connect your purpose to that job, you're going to be not only happy coming to work every day, but you're going to be successful. So I think finding that passion and purpose that is directly connected to your job is important. Taking risk is very important. If there's something that you see that you're just not feeling sure whether I should apply for this job or not, just go for it and take a risk and see how it pans out. You will learn something. Right. So take risks. Also network. I think that's quite important. Find people who you think are inspiring for you. Talk to them and build your network. And look at the leaders and see what you can learn from them and apply that in your leadership style. But don't be afraid. I mean, lifetime, as everybody said, this is a great industry. It's a lot of fun if that is your purpose. I've been in this industry for 20 years. I've loved every single day. whether it's being in the lab or leading a team. It's really very joyful for me.
What a wonderful thing to be able to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what drove you to get into the industry? So 20 years, that's a long time.
Yeah, I grew up in India, and science for girls at that time was not really, nobody was really pursuing it. Biotech was very new, and I was just really very interested in this new field that was up and coming 20 years ago, and I just wanted to learn more about how can you develop biologics. So it was just curiosity. I think I've just been curious since I was a kid, and that just drove me to explore the science more. And then I worked with startups, with mid-sized companies, really big biopharma, and now Cytiva, and have really enjoyed every single day. It's been really wonderful.
It's wonderful. Nikki, same question. Somebody's exploring the industry. What advice do you have for them?
Well, I think what Annu said about finding your purpose really resonates for me. I entered the life science industry about 8 years ago, and had no experience. The closest experience industry-wise I had was in medical devices, and I found that I really loved the life sciences industry because of that direct connection to being able to see what I do and how it impacts, the mission of the company, and overall, making this a better place, to get kind of touchy-feely, I guess. Just feeling that connection to the mission is really important to me, and something that I look for, whenever I consider making a move. So that was one of the things that I really dug into when I was considering coming to Danaher and Cytiva. I think also, especially for young professionals who are entering, the work world, don't get too hung up on titles. Really think about what's the type of work that you really love to do. Because if you are doing something that you really love, that in an environment that really enables you to do your best work, that advancement, those titles will come because you are doing your best work. So really just focus on what it is that whether it's projects or working with people or being out in the field or working in a lab, what really drives you, and focus on opportunities to get into those areas, and I think you'll be able to have a really rewarding career.
Yeah, what makes you tick, right? What makes you want to get up and go to work every day? And you said a connection to the mission. That's huge. You have to feel connected to what the company's doing, and you guys are doing amazing work. So it's not hard to find a connection to the work that you guys are doing every day. Mm-hmm. So the next question, again for the group, but we want to talk a little bit more about the company, about Cytiva. Why do you like working at Cytiva? What drew you to the company, and what's your culture like? So I guess we'll come back to Brian.
Okay. You heard a lot of great things from Annu and from Nikki and from Umay. I echo the same things. I mean, the word that stuck out for me was when Annu used the word purpose. I'm driven by the science. I've always been intellectually curious. I've always had just a deep passion for the science, right? Science nerd. Love it.
But it's a good thing.
It is a good thing, right? But for me, I love this job. Right, and I think they say if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Mm-hmm. It's the best job I ever had, and I said that about my previous job and about the previous job before that, because I've enjoyed the lifelong learning aspect of what I've been doing. But you can find that a lot of places. You can find a connection to the science at a lot of places, and you can even find connections to the patients and that purpose in some places. I certainly feel that purpose working with Cytiva. What I love about Cytiva is the culture, and what makes the culture is the people. Yeah. I've never worked with smarter, harder working people in my entire career who are all driven towards doing really meaningful things for others. And for me, that's what drives me. It's just the culture. It is awesome. It's a great place to be.
Well, and I think in a world where there is so much opportunity, and especially, again, back to where in the Boston area, greater Metro West, there's a lot of opportunity at different companies within the industry. That says a lot.
There's a lot of choices out here,
right.
But the culture and the people are what make this business different, in my opinion.
That's incredible. Nikki, same question. We'll just go back around.
Yeah, I would agree that the culture is a true distinguishing factor for us. Coming into Cytiva, I felt, that a really collaborative spirit that I haven't felt in some other places that I've been. And, just that passion that everyone has for what they're doing, and that willingness to go the extra mile for the customer really, drives what we do here at Cytiva. I really enjoy having the autonomy to go out and try different things and, take some risks. And if it doesn't work out, think about, okay, how can we make this better versus, oh, that didn't work, so that was a failure. And, I think that really helps us to advance in our innovation and the work that we all do.
That's wonderful. So we'll just keep going. Annu.
I love working for Cytiva simply because it's a lot of fun. I think I enjoy every day. I feel like the team of scientists that I work with are very talented, and we're like grouped together trying to solve these complex biological problems in the lab. So it's fun. We're also learning a lot from each other. I have a lot of inspirational people around me in the company, around the table right here too, right? That you learn from. It's a very inclusive culture. Culture, I think, is the key when you work at different companies. It's inclusive culture, it's very diverse culture. I feel completely comfortable being authentic, being who I am, and I feel accepted. So that's very important. Another thing I would mention is, for me, I'm a very busy working mom of 2 daughters. So flexibility and work-life balance are key for me, which Cytiva provides. So I am really very appreciative of that. I can give my full attention to my work, but also my full attention to my family when they need me. So all in all, it's really important. A culture that's difficult to find anywhere else. So I really love it here.
And I think, in today's world too, over the last year where we've worked from home, and I mean, there's so many things about culture that are changing, and having a company that's, changing with the times and being flexible is huge for so many people.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. Umay, how about you?
Yeah, so I mean, it's so well said from all of you. Culture is, I think, the main thing that is very, I don't know if it's unique in Cytiva, because I've been 19 years with Cytiva, so I haven't seen anything else, but it's really great in our company, where it's very collaborative. It allows you to be able to say what you would like to say, and it's a very supportive coaching type of culture. And I think one element that I had in my life with Cytiva from the very beginning is I'm always given challenges to just take my skill set to the next level, but the challenges that I took was always at the right amount. So I wasn't thrown into cases where I cannot really, go anywhere with it. I mean, even if that's the case, I know there was going to be some support, but my example has always been that every challenge that I have given took me to the next level. So I'm really appreciative of that. And the last thing maybe I would say is, which brings me here, is the learning aspect. There hasn't been a day spent without learning anything since the beginning. And it's a big statement to make, 19 years, right? So, and in a very, very different roles. But that keeps you really curious and passionate and excited about the job. And the intelligence around us to solve the problems when they arise is just incredible.
Sounds like there's a lot of collaboration that goes on.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, all right, Nikki, we're going to go to you for if there was 100 applicants, what would make a resume stand out? I mean, you guys put up a job. I'm sure you have a lot of people that apply, and what makes those resumes stand out for the students that are watching?
Yes, for students who don't have a lot of experience, I think that the examples of leadership, whether it's with volunteer activities or student activities on campus, are really important to make a student stand out. I think being able to take the classroom learning experiences and apply that to what the role may be looking for would be important as well. And really keeping the resume focused on accomplishments and providing objective data to highlight how important the work was that you were doing. So, for example, how many people were you serving? How fast were you able to get things done? That really shows the the results of the work that and what you would be able to bring to us as an organization and the results you may be able to achieve here.
What about folks that might be career change, right? You know, they're watching everything that's going on in the world right now and they're saying, hey, I really want to get involved in this industry. Same type of advice, or, you know, when you're looking at those types of resumes, is there, you know, past experience that might stand out or things like that?
Yes, I think it's important to highlight the transferable experiences. So, you know, you may not have experience in the life science industry, but you have experience in project management in another industry, or in, you know, service in another industry. You know, those types of things that you have done elsewhere that would be relevant to the role that you're applying for, making sure that you highlight that and, you know, customize the resume to the job and, you know, what's listed in terms of the, you know, what we're looking for, and anything that you can add in terms of keywords and transferable skills that align with that will really help get your resume noticed.
Yeah, so don't be afraid, you know, even if you're halfway through your career, or, you know, to start again, right? And there's all these wonderful opportunities and great companies out there that are willing to work with you. That's great to know. So we're going to talk a little bit about diversity and inclusion. I think that it is welcome at Cytiva, but can you speak a little bit about, you know, what types of programs you guys have, or how it's treated at Cytiva?
Yes, diversity and inclusion, or actually we flip it, inclusion and diversity at Cytiva is very important to us. So, you know, we have started our Inclusion and Diversity Council, which is made up of leaders from various functions across Cytiva to, you know, really drive initiatives that help the business to, you know, be an inclusive environment where our associates feel like they can bring their best selves to work, bring their authentic selves to work, and, you know, how can we continue to make this a better place. We also have what we call associate resource groups that are focused around different identities. So we have a women's associate resource group. We have one for our African American associates, for our Asian associates, Hispanic associates. And they are open to those who identify with those groups as well as allies. And so there's programming that happens throughout the year. You know, I was just on a panel on, you know, kind of mental health awareness and, you know, self-care. So how do you find balance and create balance in stressful times like this? You know, there are leadership development series that some of the ARGs put on. There's financial wellness series that some of them will put on. So a variety of topics that speak to, you know, that just bringing your whole self and being a full person in the workplace.
Which is so important.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't do your best work if you're not feeling your best self. That's wonderful. Okay, so
Can I jump in?
Of course you can.
All right. So we've got a comment from Rob Schlachter from the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce, and he just said, we're so impressed with Cytiva's commitment to sustainability, diversity, and inclusion, and on the local level too. So thanks for joining us, Rob.
Yeah, thank you.
We've got a bunch of other comments that if you're still with us, stay with us, because we're going to get to your questions. President Michael Ossing's here, Mark Vital, we've got a number of people, so we will get to your questions soon, but I just thought that was a great place to kind of integrate that.
Yeah, so we have one more question before we open it up to the live audience to hear their questions. Any unique offerings? You know, I know each company in and of itself, you know, again, going back to that staying, you know, relevant, and there's so much opportunity in competitive, you know, advantage. What do you guys offer at Cytiva that's unique for folks that are looking to apply?
Right. So we have comprehensive health benefits that we offer that include mental health as well as physical health. We have a 401k retirement plan that is open to everyone as of their first day of employment and provides a generous company match. We also have fairly generous time off policies for hourly employees, as well as our exempt population that allows you to take time off to recharge your batteries, to spend time with family, just get away and vacation. We have a tuition reimbursement program as well to support those who are pursuing advanced degrees in various areas. So, especially for those people who come in with a high school degree and want to pursue a bachelor's degree, we have the support to move on in your education. And I think just the programs that we offer through our associate resource groups and our financial partners really helps to reduce some of the stress of just not knowing how things work, and help our employees to manage all aspects of their lives.
It's awesome. It's awesome. So with that, we're going to turn it over to Jill to kind of help us out with fielding some questions from the audience.
All right, so let's see what people have to say. A lot of people have just jumped in and said hi, so happy to hear about all the opportunities at Cytiva. Let's see, so Mark Vital has a comment for us. He says, good morning, are there opportunities for high school summer work between 11th and 12th grade? So you're looking at 17, 8-year-olds, 18-year-olds.
And just for a little background, so Mark Vital is over at AMSA, one of our local charter school, and they do wonderful work over there. The students are amazing.
Yes, at this time we don't have formal high school internship or work programs. You do have to be at least 18 to work for Cytiva. We are going to be revitalizing our college internship program starting next summer. And that really is a great pipeline to other entry-level opportunities at Cytiva, where students can spend one or more summers with us, and when they graduate, step into a role and already have some training behind them to really hit the ground running once they come in after graduation.
Yeah, building that pipeline is so important.
Yeah, that's awesome. His follow-up question was, how about internships for college students during the summer?
There you go.
Literally right there.
Perfect.
Awesome. Okay, so we do have a few more comments I want to make sure we recognize here. We've got Brianna says, sounds like Cytiva makes their employees a priority. Do you guys agree with that?
Absolutely.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think that's fair.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's awesome. And we've got the 495 Metro West partnership.
So just to jump, so the 495 Metro West partnership is kind of our regional economic development partners. So they're 35 communities up and down 495 that we work with closely. So thank you, Jason, for joining us this morning.
Yeah, he says, thank you to Cytiva for your commitment to our communities, and thank you to the MEDC for organizing this insightful conversation. Thank you so much for being here. We do have another question. Let's see here. Sorry. So President Michael Ossing is asking, does having other life science companies in Marlborough encourage Cytiva to stay and expand? Who'd like to run with that?
Brian, can we pick on you?
Yeah, if you put me on the spot, I'll take a stab. I think yes, right? So if you use, for example, if you use Cambridge or Boston as an example, all of a sudden, at one point 20 years ago, 100 companies didn't just flood to Cambridge to decide to be there. It usually takes, you need to build some inertia, right? A couple companies, they start to spin off into other companies, right? You've got the universities, they usually have spin outs and their entrepreneurial initiatives. For us, there's the academic pipeline for talent. But let's be honest, in times like now where the industry is growing as fast as it is, oftentimes you'll have the different life science companies swapping talent. It does happen.
Sure.
But ignoring the talent piece for a second, the innovation piece, right? Many of us belong to the same networking groups. We see familiar faces from other companies there. There is a good exchange of ideas. And so, the long answer to your question was that. The short answer is yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we like to think of it Mass Life Science Center, Mass Bio, all of us that are working together to try to attract life science industry to Massachusetts. It's this cluster, right? And if the ecosystem is here and it's existing and other companies see that it's working for, companies like Cytiva, Sanofi, Innovian, GE, all these other wonderful companies that are thriving, that gives them the confidence that if they come in, they're going to be able to find all the things that they need in our region. So,
you can build a lab anywhere.
Right.
But what really is the driver of at least for our success, and I'm sure many of the other life science companies out there, is being close to where the talent is and
Right.
having that good pipeline of talent.
And again, not to name drop, but Boston Scientific. I mean, these are names that people know. In the industry, they are respected, and so if these folks are able to make it work, we will be able to do so as well.
For sure.
Yeah. Anybody want to add to that, or do we?
Maybe I add a few notes here. Talent has always been a big issue in our industry, and now it's just going to be even more because of the expansion that we're seeing. And being here was a specifically chosen location for talent, because it's not only the other industries around, it's also the universities in this area. It's also the education system in Massachusetts. I think you look at a very big potential just because we're here. And then, as Brian said, exchanging of ideas is a very important piece of this ecosystem, and that's how we all grow as being a part of it.
Yeah, we see a lot of, Boston, the R&D is kind of happening in Boston, and, then they're coming out this way when they're looking to build kind of the bigger facilities, the manufacturing, things like that. So it's interesting how the different pipelines are built and how it all feeds each other.
Right.
You ready?
I got another question.
Okay.
So President Michael Ossing has the question, does Cytiva have plans to work with the local high schools to get students interested in life sciences? And as a former employee of Marlborough Public Schools, actually I still work for Marlborough Public Schools.
You do.
Doing communications and whatnot, but I used to be a science and ESL teacher at Marlborough Public Schools, so I'm very interested.
Not to answer for any of you, but I think the answer is yes. What you're doing right now and being involved in our community and with the chamber and all the different things you guys are already doing, thank you for your willingness to do that. But Nikki, would you like to add to that?
Sure. There's some of that work already going on. So I mentioned our associate resource group. Some of them have done adopt-a-school programs or gone into the classroom and done speaking engagements in science classrooms and at schools in the area. So yes, absolutely. That's part of our engagement in the community, as well as our strategy around building pipeline of talent.
Awesome.
There are exciting experiments that we can do, like M&M experiments with chromatography, right? I don't know if any one of you had done that with.
I know we've invited students in our fast track lab for a day where we have shown them how to extract DNA from strawberries and things like that. So we definitely have different programs to get them excited about the magic of science.
Did you say extract DNA from strawberries?
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
I've got another question here, if you guys are
Let's hear it.
open for it. All right. So Brianna says, what is the one acquired skill that you can think of to suggest to anyone entering into the life science industry in order to be successful? It's an interesting question.
That is an interesting question.
What's one skill you can think of? There are probably many.
Everybody's thinking.
Yeah, I think there's a lot, but one that jumps out to me is adaptability. Just thinking about how quickly this industry has been growing at such an exponential rate, you have to be able to pivot really quickly and keep up on shifting priorities. So that ability to deal with ambiguity and not knowing exactly what's going to happen and shift gears when you need to, I think is really important.
I'll say curiosity. I think that's like a key for a scientist. Are you always questioning things? Are you always trying to find answers to different questions? I think that if you have just that as a natural ability, then you'll fit really good in a science role.
As a young mother, that's encouraging to hear because my daughter is very curious all the time about everything. So that's really great to hear.
Oh, yes. Not lying.
I'm not lying, no. Anything you want to add, Umay?
Yeah, I mean, adaptability, curiosity, these are all very, very important. What I also think of is communication, right? So it's another skill set that you learn with just going into years of experience, but I think it's really important to be able to listen and to be able to understand how you are perceived when you talk.
Absolutely. Well, if there aren't any other questions, I think we're coming up right on our time, and really want to thank all of you for taking the time to be here with us today and to speak about Cytiva and the wonderful work that you guys are doing. And we look forward to continuing the partnership to build the pipeline here in the community and make sure that that access to talent and all the other wonderful things that you guys are looking for to be successful, that we're able to help support in that way. So welcome to Marlborough. I know you've been here a little bit, but one of our newest life science companies. We're happy to have you, very proud to have you in our community, and really just thank you all very much for being here with us today, and we look forward to the next time. So
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. This is great. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to our viewers. We're really excited to have you, and please tune in for the next episode of Inside the Industry. We'll have one every quarter, and so we look forward to coming to you with different industries. There is a wide variety in Marlborough of different types of companies and different types of work that are going on right here in your community. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time.